Hey, everybody, school's in session, and you're here at the Yellowhammer Football Podcast here on the Loaded Sports Network, where each and every week we talk a little Alabama high school football. I am the Colonel. He is Catfish. What's going on, buddy?
What up, brother?
Wonderful day.
Oh, yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and get into it. We'll look into a little week 6, a little recap of it. Starting off, we had Hackleburg going to Hubbartville and coming up with a win, 34-28.
Yeah, this was big for Hackleburg. We didn't expect them to win. I believe we both picked Hubbartville. So the fact they went on the road and they've been pretty sloppy lately up until this game. They were having, I believe they had a few losses in a row. And had they even won a game? I don't know if they maybe won.
Maybe one. Yeah, but so, I know they lost to Phil Campbell that first week.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's a big win for them. You kind of hope that it puts them on the right track to end out the season.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. I think they've had a lackluster season so far, and this might be what they need to finish strong.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Then we had Phillips going to Brilliant, coming up with a win, 53-0.
You know, Phillips had that got pretty much it all handed to him. Their tail end, hind end handed to him against Meek last week, or the week before last. So the fact that you would expect them to do this to Brilliant, and they did it on the road, and it's a nice rebound game for them, and I expect them to be back where they were before the Meek game.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think this is, what they needed after that tough Meek game, and I think they'll be back on track for sure. Then we had Marion County going against Fayette County, and coming up short, 28-59.
Yeah, again, the Fayette County member. We had it was the typo of 1A.
I know. I still hadn't.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, I was just reminding us of it, but the fact that I wanted to see how Marion County could, how they would match up to Fayette. I kind of figured that they would score this many points, but I thought it would be a little bit closer. Hats off to Fayette County for playing up to their level, their standard, and defeating a 1A opponent like this. But I'm not knocking Marion County for this. Shout out to them for scheduling Fayette County, but I don't take anything away from Marion County after this loss. I believe they're still going to make it to the playoffs in 1A.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think, like you said, kudos to them for scheduling this game, especially at Fayette County.
It's quite the drive.
Yeah, and I don't hang the loss on them. I think, it is what it is. So. Then we had Hamilton going to Winfield, coming up short, lost 52-0.
So what did you think about this one?
I knew Winfield was good. I thought Hamilton would be a little bit better.
I believe I talked maybe second episode about how everybody thinks Hamilton and Haleville, where I'm from, is the biggest rivalry, but it's actually this one, Hamilton against Winfield. And Hamilton's had a bad season. Nothing's going right for Coach Peoples and the Aggies. They've lost to teams like Red Bay, which they normally blow out.
Yep.
They've not been able to get it going against their own region opponents too, and in the fact they go to a rival that is one classification lower. Now it's a hard environment. It's we've talked about it before. It's intimidating, but to go out there and score, put up a goose egg on the scoreboard and then give up 52, that's a hard loss. And I'm kind of interested to see what's stirring in Hamilton here in the next few weeks.
Yeah, that's a hard bus ride back. When you can't put up any points and then you give up so many. It just seems like it was a failure in all areas.
Oh yeah,
You know. Sorry
and
about my phone ringing there.
I didn't hear it, brother.
Okay.
But honestly, dude, uh, how do you explain this if you're Coach Peoples?
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to sit here and say, well, you know, the players didn't play. It's easy for a coach to say that, but you gave up 52 points and didn't score a daggum thing. I mean, it's just I hate it for Hamilton right now. I really do.
Yeah, for sure. I agree, man. It's hard.
It's kind of like with Alabama, an Alabama fan. If Auburn's struggling, Tennessee's struggling, you're kind of like, all right, y'all pick it up
Yep.
a little bit. We need to
Right.
we
Yeah.
need
It's
to
got.
make it
Yeah. It's got to look good.
better. Yeah.
Then we had Curry going to Vina and winning big, 66-22.
2-3, I believe now. So going 4 years without a win, and then now you got two of them. It's something to celebrate. You know, we talked about it last week, just how much this game meant for the rest of the season. Because I mean, if nothing else, this gives them a little bit more motivation to compete in the tail end of the season and build towards next year in the future. So I'm excited for Curry, and I'm glad they got this W on the road, and it's special.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I agree with you. I think, you know, like you said, what they're 2-3 or were
Yeah,
or
yeah,
are,
yeah.
and
Or 2-3.
you know, you got to be excited if you're Curry. You know, every
Mm-hmm.
win counts, man. Then we had Belmont, Mississippi, going up against Red Bay. Red Bay coming out with a win, 16-0.
Oh yeah, uh, Dad had he would or me and him were at a get together Saturday, and or uh we are talking where he was just showing me the scores to all the games that he had been paying attention to, and or the day before, the night before, and he said he thought back to the last episode where we were talking about Belmont's logo.
Yeah.
He said he dug the logo too. But
Well, like I said, that's the only one I could find, and I hope it is so. I hope it is close to being right.
I dig it, man. If they ain't, if not them, they need to go with it for sure.
Yeah,
But I'm
yeah,
Red Bay right here, getting it done, 16-0. It's a border war. It's technically a rivalry. I will say that because I mean, the only thing I think more appealing than playing my rival is playing somebody from another state.
yeah,
Like I want it's that type of bragging right. So it's good for Red Bay.
yeah, man. Then we had Tharp Town going to Cherokee, coming up with a win, 48-22.
What you got to say about this one?
Hey, it's a good win for Tharp Town, man. You know,
Yeah, and I think we talked about last week how it's the same situation that Curry's in. You know,
yep,
so Thorntown's got their second win on the year, and Cherokee actually put up some points, 22 points. I mean, that's that's
that's a big deal.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a big, it's a huge deal.
for sure.
But good job, Thorntown, for sure.
Yeah, man. Then we had Carbon Hill going to Phil Campbell, and this was homecoming. Phil Campbell coming up with a win, 28-0. So go Bobcats on that one.
I know. You just had a Cheshire cat grin on this one.
Yeah, well, I mean, from what I understood about the game, from what I read about it, Phil Campbell had a lot of mistakes
Mm-hmm.
that they had to overcome to get this win. I mean, I know they shut out Carbon Hill, but
Yeah,
it probably should have been higher than 28.
yeah. I had high hopes for Carbon Hill. I still like their roster. I like the team. I don't know what's going on. I really don't. It's sad to see sitting here winless and not even able to score points to somebody that's in your classification that you play, uh, and to give up 28 points and to score nothing. That's a hard game. Hard. That's like you said, long drive back.
Yep.
It's we got to see if they can keep, or we got to see if Phil Campbell can, you know, keep going off this one, and we got to see if Carbon Hill can at least do something the rest of the season.
Yeah, that's true. I know Phil Campbell, only has one loss on the year, but there's some tough teams in that region.
It was it was a 4 point loss they had
Yeah,
to, was it Colbert County,
yeah, Colbert County. Yeah,
and they lost to Dessler this weekend, but close. That just
yeah,
shows you how tough that opponent is.
right. Then we had Good Hope going to Addison and coming out with a loss, 28-30. Addison gets the win in overtime. Man, this had to be a good game.
Dude, I swear, I kept checking on it, and for a while there, I thought Good Hope was just going to blow them out of the water.
Yeah,
And the fact that Addison came back like they did and then got it done in overtime, the build up to what's happening this week just got bigger with this
yeah.
win.
I get it. Just shows you the toughness, even mental toughness of this team.
Yeah,
To come out there and beat a 4A school. That's
yeah,
a huge deal.
yeah, and to be able to hang on to it in overtime. You said it best. I think it was a couple weeks ago when you were talking about how to keep momentum going like this, especially when you're facing teams that are above your classification, to get wins like this means everything. And
Yes.
we were talking about last week that Winston County 1A teams, man, they just got to be the best in the state. They're beating anybody. It don't
Yeah.
matter what classification they are.
Yeah, I agree, man. At the beginning of the year, we talked about this Addison team and how we had high expectations for them, and they're right there, man. They're
They are.
Everything I thought they would be, they are, and more.
I, mm,
And then we had Lynn going to Tarrant, getting a win 49-6.
yeah, it's the same way as Addison getting a win against Good Hope. Lynn going to Tarrant, going to Birmingham, a bunch of Winston County boys going to Birmingham,
Right.
and coming out with a win like this and just controlling the game from the start. You had Cole Kelly had took one. I don't remember how many yards, and he was about to score, and he got about 3 people on him, and he pitched it off the Kel Tittle, and he ended up running it in. You had a block punt in this game, and actually Ryan Talley, one of their offensive linemen and D linemen, scored a touchdown in this game.
Wow.
It kind of offered everything, and the fact that it was all in Lynn's favor, it's huge for them. And another 1A team and went from Winston County, and it shows how dominant they are.
Yeah, and we talked about that momentum. Lynn's just keeps it rolling. So
Yeah.
then we had Oakman going to Winterboro, coming up short 20-26.
Maybe we should have known a little bit more about whatever.
Yeah, I about to say, I had no idea about them. That's the first time I heard that name.
It's crazy, and for them to be a lower classification and Oakman to go to their house and lose like this, it's disheartening for Coach Ryan Hall and his program. They had a lineman, TJ, get hurt. He fractured his back in this game, so it's just a difficult thing, and I hope the best for Oakman. I hope they can rebound, but it's hard to take a loss like this in the middle part of the season.
Yeah, that is for sure. Then we had the game of the week. We had Mars Hill going to Russellville, coming out with a win 31-30. I was keeping up with this one online, and I think Russell had a chance to hit a game-winning field goal as time expired, and they missed. Um, Mars
Mm,
Hill's tough, man.
yeah. Like I said, like we said last week, I Marcel being number one in 3A, they were number two. I figured they'll be number one, so I'm just gonna say number
Yeah,
one in 3A.
right.
And we knew it'd be a hard opponent for Russell to face even at home.
Yep.
And I compared Russellville to Jasper since they're in the same classification. Now Jasper was in 6A when they played Morris Hill the past 2 years, but Jasper beat Morris Hill pretty handily both times. So I was guessing Russellville just based off that. But apparently Morris Hill ain't letting anybody down right now. They do have one loss on the season, but they've been on a roll here recently.
Yeah, they're going to be the kings of their region, I do believe.
Yeah,
I think Phil Campbell's in that region too.
yeah,
Uh, it's going to be hard, man, for
yeah.
Phil Campbell to have to beat Mars Hill.
And it may have to play them twice.
Yeah,
May have to play them twice.
right. So that's going to be hard. But I mean, it was a close game. I think we thought it was going to be close either way.
Yeah, I thought
It could,
Russell was going to win it during the
yeah,
game.
yeah. Well, I did too. I thought Russell had a good shot.
Yeah,
But that just shows you that toughness Mars Hill has.
yeah. I mean, Connor Warhurst, Russell was running back. He's had a heck of a year. He had a heck of a year last year, so they can get behind him and he can carry them for a pretty successful season. They just got to get all the run blocking and all that down pat and quit shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah, Russell just got to get back on track, and I'm sure they'll be fine. But guys, we're going to take a short little commercial break, and we'll be right back with a look at Week 7.
It's a nice, cool day. If y'all stay classy. Back to y'all guys at the Yellowhammer podcast station.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Yellowhammer Football Podcast here on the Loaded Sports Network. I hope you enjoyed that short little commercial break. We're going to take a look at Week 7, give you a little preview. Got Waterloo going to Hackleburg. What do you think?
Waterloo started off hot, and they've kind of got their hind ends handed to them.
Yep.
As I said, or used that reference earlier in the show, but Hackleburg same way.
Yep.
Granted, they didn't start off hot; they've been pretty sluggish throughout since they've got it at home, and Waterloo's got to travel. I'm gonna go with Hackleburg.
Yeah, I think Hackleburg carries that momentum off that win. I think they get this one, but I think it'll be close.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, Vina going to Phillips. My opinion, I think Phillips wins, and I think they win probably pretty big.
Let's give our bet. So how much? By how much?
50.
Yeah, I'll go with 60.
I hate to say that, but I really do believe it's going to be a lot.
I'll go with 60.
Yeah.
Well, actually, if it's raining this week, maybe 50.
Yeah, that's true. But you might be closer than I am.
Yeah.
We got Clements going to Marion County.
Clements, one of them teams that's got, again, their higher classification in Marion County. These 1A teams have been playing good teams. I mean,
yes.
But Clemens is one of them teams that's got a lot of athletes. They were always a pretty tough out. It didn't matter if it was a camp or a game or what sport it was. So Marion County does get them at home. And I tell you the truth, I think Marion County had a harder opponent last week in Fayette County. So if that can give them any kind of a boost against Clemens, then I think they can get it done at home.
Yeah, I think at home's going to help. I think if they win, I think it is very close. Then we got Brilliant going to Hubbardville. my opinion, Hubertville probably has this one.
Yeah. We said Hubertville would beat Hackleburg last week.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah.
And, didn't get done. But, brilliance and a rebuild. Coach Satcher got there late, and he got them too late to have any effect on this season. But you just hope they build and keep putting points on the board, and have some good things to look
I think
at.
you gotta be competitive.
Yes.
You got to score some points. You got to try to stop them every now and then. You might not win, but you got to at least really, really be competitive. So.
Well, I mean, they're running back Jerry Lothram. They ride him constantly throughout a game, and he gets them down the field. They get in their own way more times than not. I mean, it's not like they're not moving the ball. They are, right. But it's not working out for them.
Yeah. So, like I said, I think Hubertville wins, but I do think Brilliant scores. I think they do put some points up. So
yeah.
Then we got Winfield going to Tarrant. Winfield coming off a big win. What do you think?
So they beat Hamilton 52-0, right?
Yep.
So I'm gonna go. This one I'm gonna say about 70-0. No doubt. Yeah.
A lot. That's what we're saying. Yeah.
It's gonna be embarrassing for Tarrant, but I don't like to. Yeah, it's part of it.
I mean, I hate to be so blunt, but
if you're gonna lose, you gotta be tough.
That's right. That's right. Got Hamilton going to Curry. Curry coming off a win, Hamilton coming off that big loss. Curry's gonna win this one.
You got Curry winning.
I think so. I think they pull it out. It might be close, but I think they're gonna pull it out.
Well, be still my beating heart.
Yeah, I know.
But Hamilton, it was a disheartening loss. So if they're kind of playing in the gutter and playing down to an opponent, I believe Curry's got this one at home. And they're 2 1A opponents they faced, they beat. That's the only 2 teams they beat. Getting somebody that's in your region, that's coming off a tough loss and pretty much a tough season. If Curry can get this, and this is the type of wins I'm talking about, or the type of games to be competitive in that I'm talking about. So,
yeah, for sure.
I'm more than excited for it.
Yeah, I know you can look at it 2 ways. Either Hamilton's going to be motivated from that not upset, but that big loss they had last week, or Curry's going to be really motivated from the big win they had. Either way, it could equal out to a very good football game. And Curry, like I said, I'm picking Curry, but I think it'd probably be close.
Dude, Curry's quarterback, Josh Sasson Day, he had 6 passing touchdowns before half last week. So I mean,
man,
if he can do something, if he can replicate that here at home, it's going to be a hard night for Hamilton.
Yep. Then we got Red Bay going to Tharp Town. My pick, Red Bay's probably got it.
Oh, no doubt. Tharp Town got that win last week, but just let's see them be competitive. Try to put up some points. Try to keep Red Bay from scoring too much on your home field, and who knows? Maybe in the end it'll be a little bit closer than what we're thinking. But I think Red Bay's got it too.
Yeah, I think Red Bay goes up early, and if Tharp Town makes it close, it'll be late. So, got Lauderdale County coming to Phil Campbell. I don't know much about Lauderdale County, but I imagine this is going to be a tough game.
Yeah, thankfully Phil Campbell don't have to drive up there.
Right.
Thankfully they get them at home and dominating like they did last week. And then being on the road, you can't. Well, on much of the road you can be after losing the game, but
yeah,
winning last week and winning like they did, they've got a lot of good motivation to take down Lauderdale County coming here. Uh, Lauderdale County's one of them uh, schools that are routinely good in just about every sport. So, they're going to come prepared to play hard, and it should be a game, but I think Phil Campbell's got it.
I'm picking Phil Campbell. Again, like I said, I don't know much about Lauderdale County, but I think Phil Campbell's got some motivation this year. They know they want to go to the playoffs, and I think they're going to do everything they can to get there. So then we got Brewer going to Russellville. Russellville coming off that loss to Mars Hill. What's Brewer look like? I don't know much about them either.
I haven't heard anything out of Brewer this year, and we keep up with pretty much every outlet. So to not hear about a team, they may not be doing good. So Russell getting them at home and having faced Mars Hill, a tough opponent last week, and barely losing that one. I think they're ticked off, mad, and they want blood. They're thirsty right now and hungry. So I believe they're going to get this done at home against Brewer.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm going with Russellville as well. Then we got Pickens County going to Lynn.
I believe if you're a Lynn fan, before the season, granted, I had a little bit more faith than a lot of people, and I even told Coach Hastings that this would be a special year for him. And really, the only loss I seen or saw them obtaining before the year was ACA, which they did end up losing to the 4A private school out of Montgomery. But if you're looking before this season and you're looking at the schedule, you're automatically going to think Lynn's going to drop this game. Yeah, you get them at home, but before the season, you would have thought Pickens County would have had this all day.
Yeah,
Pickens County does have the athletes. They are always routinely dominating this region. It's going to be a hard ball game, hard-fought ball game. If Lynn gets it, if they win it, it's going to be rough. They've been on a row, coming off a win against a team that's a couple classifications ahead of them. It was huge, so we'll see if they can hold on to that momentum and get this W.
Yeah, I want Lynn to win, but my heart's telling me to pick Pickens County. So
yeah. Your heart's telling you to Pickens County.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's what y'all come here for, guys, just for a little bit of comedic humor, So. Had Cold Springs going to Winston County.
Cold Springs is one of them teams right down the road off 69. The only game we really covered them in this year was the first game they had against Curry, and they narrowly won that. And they've had some wins, they've had some losses, they've been pretty par. Winston County started off strong, then they lost that one, and then they've kind of, they staggered a little bit, but they're right where they need to be is in terms of making the playoffs. And I believe this is a good matchup. I'm not saying that Winston County's got this by a lot. It is at home, so I'm gonna go with Winston County.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think at home really helps out a lot. I think I'm gonna go Winston County too. Then we got Oak Grove going to Haleville.
Who you got, Nissen?
I don't know, man. What do you think?
I mean, Haleville go in and beat Northside on the road like they did a couple weeks ago. Northside being a ranked team. Of course, Hamilton's went there and they've lost. I believe Curry. So to Oak Grove, but Oak Grove's got to go to Haleville. It's a long drive too. I've made that drive. I think this is going to be a pretty good ball game, and this may be one of those situations that Haleville and Cordova had to where it goes down to the wire.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Haleville.
Yeah, let's go with Haleville, man. Try to, put a little good look on them or something.
Oh yeah, what's the best for the Lions, man?
Got Gordo going to Carbon Hill.
Before the season, the hopes or the high hopes I have of Carbon Hill, I believe they could have competed well in this game. Gordo. Gordo. That was pretty. Yeah. But anyways, Gordo being the team they are, and always routinely having talent, Power 5 talent, I think they dominate this game. And I hate to say it because I love Carbon Hill so much, but I think Gordo's got this by a lot.
Yeah, I hate to agree with you, but I'm going to agree with you. I think you're right.
And I know Carbon Hill was looking before the season. They're thinking maybe they would be at least 3-1.
Yeah,
maybe 2-2 at worst. And they're sitting there at 0-4, about to face up against probably the toughest team.
Yeah, on the schedule. Yeah, for sure. Got Oakman going to Fayette County. I think I fixed the classification this time.
Oh, yeah, there
there you go.
That is beautiful. Oh, man. Who you got in this one?
Fayette County, man, they look good.
I'm sure they're undefeated because every team they've played that we've had that we cover, they beat. So, Oatman coming off that tough loss to Winterboro and making the trip to Fayette County, which is not far from Oatman. You go straight through Berry to Fayette, but it's still you're going into a pretty competitive environment, pretty loud, obnoxious environment. So I'll have Fayette for this one too.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Here.
Yep, that's it. Got Dora going to Cordova.
This is going to be a game right here. Dora has had some success this year. They've got a pretty good squad. They're young. Chavis has got them playing as hard as they could possibly play. He's a dang good coach, and Cordova's the same way with Coach Smothers. They're real young. The quarterback Cody Hedrick, he's a junior, but as far as their running back and a couple of their other stars, they're seniors. But the Jalen Armstead, the wide receiver, Cody's top target, he's a junior as well. So I believe their better days are ahead, probably next year. Yeah. But they're still better in Dora this year. I think Cordova gets this done at home.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Cordova definitely gets this win. Then we got Hayden going to Jasper.
Yeah. Jasper, had the bye last week, but before that they'd been on a row, and it kind of probably helped them to have that bye week so they can collect the first part of the season and recollect the next two games and see where they went wrong in the first two and where they were in the next two. But them having their star quarterback back in Spencer, I believe they've got this. Hayden coming all the way from Coleman, it's not that far of a drive. You still got to go through down 69 or 78. It's a minute. Yep. But you definitely got to go down 65 before you do any of it.
Right,
but,
exactly.
I'm going to take Jasper, and I'm going to take Jasper with all the momentum they got. I'm going to take Jasper by at least 3 scores.
Yeah, I think you're right, man. I think that off week is going to help. Will help, and I think Jasper wins, like you said, by three at least, 3 touchdowns. But guys, we're going to take another short little commercial break, and we'll be back with the game of the week. Hey, everybody, it's Coach and Colonel here from the Spring Loaded Football Podcast, taking a short break from your podcast. We wanted to tell you about Spring Loaded Football, where each and every Friday we talk about Spring League sports, USFL, XFL, X League, fan control football, guys. We got it all. Coach, what you got to say?
Hey, y'all check us out. Like it, love it, and everything. We talk about a lot of stuff on here. We try to keep it quick and simple, and we talk about everything, even some things like kickers.
That's right. Check it out, springloadedfootball.com. Now back to the show. Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Yellowhammer Football Podcast here on the Loaded Sports Network. I hope you enjoyed that short commercial break. Got the game of the week. We got Addison going to Meek. We've been talking about it all year, So
It is huge, such a huge game, and I believe I know every media outlet around here is definitely going to be covering that game, and I want to say Fox 6 probably be at it too. It's got to be one of the games of the week for the whole state, not just us. This is huge. I'm kind of excited to hear your take on it, or on who you think is going to win.
Man, I've been so impressed with Meek this year. I think they got it, but man, I think this is going to be a slobber knocker. I think this thing's going to be close. It's going to be a close game. I think both teams are pretty close.
Yeah.
As far as talent and stuff, but I've been so impressed with Meek that I'm picking Meek. But like I said, it could be 3 points either way.
Yeah, I agree. I believe if anybody picks this one, if you're not associated with Addison, if anybody picks this one, you're thinking Meek all day long.
Yeah.
Cameron Deaver, he's number one in our area and yards and rushing yards and rushing touchdowns, average, everything. I mean, he's just dominating. Addison's got a good quarterback. He's a mini Tim Tebow. He's not too short, but he's not 6'5"
right.
either.
Yeah, right.
They can get behind him and let him carry them to victory. I would think if they had it at home, they would have definitely a little bit better odds to get this and done. But I want to say Meek gets it. It might be, closer than any game of the week we've had, but it's going to be a great ball game.
Right. This might end up being the game of the year.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
For sure. And if we happen to end up doing a year-end review kind of thing, you might be seeing this clip again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Meek's got it, especially at home. That crowd is going to be into it. They're going to be ready, and they're going to will this team to win, I think.
And I mean, honestly, dude, if you're thinking about it, whoever wins this wins home field advantage for the playoffs, no doubt. I mean, you still got Lynn, but right now, this is your matchup right here. Whoever wins this gets home field advantage.
Right. Well, guys, are y'all as excited for Week 7 as we are? Man, I can't wait for that Meek Addison game. You got anything else you want to say before we wrap it up?
If you're looking for a game to go to, if your team's not what it is or what it has been, go to that Meek Addison game. I swear we're telling you right here, right now, that's definitely the best game in our area this week. And it'd be a good one to watch.
No doubt, man. I would go if I could. But guys, we're going to wrap the show up. I want to thank everybody for listening. The show continues to grow each and every week. You can check out the video version on YouTube and Spotify. You can check out the audio version anywhere you find your favorite podcast. And guys, we hope we're a part of that group. Yeah, check it out down there on the bottom. But guys, if you look for us on Facebook, man, we're active all the time there. We'll be happy to shoot you an email back. If you email us at yellowhammerfootball@gmail.com, just get in touch with us, guys. We'd love to hear from you. But I'm the Colonel, he's Catfish, and you just listened to the Yellowhammer Football Podcast, and we'll see you next time.